Hello and welcome to the 5-day easy peasy clean eating challenge. I'm so excited to have you, and we're going to see if we can keep this to 10 minutes or less and get you right to the tips. So, first things first, if you're seeing me on a Facebook business page or a YouTube channel, join us in the free group for this challenge. We're in the holiday season. Holiday things are everywhere. This means more parties, candy everywhere, treats, and your to-do list grows by 4 times. So today we're talking about how to eat healthy during the holidays and make it easier. So if that sounds good to you, jump into our free group if you're not already there, and you can find that in the comments. Also, today I am coming at you with StreamYard. So, StreamYard requires that you give permission for Facebook to see your name. So, if you comment, I might not be able to see your name right now, but I will be able to see your comment and your name later on when we get into the Facebook group. Okay, so let's talk about the Easy Peasy Clean Eating Challenge. So, the holiday season, it typically means less time, more stress, and that usually means that we're eating a lot worse. So we're on the go, we don't have a lot of time to make things, so it's just so easy to grab whatever fast food is around. We're at parties, so there's a lot of treats around. We're also stressed, so then that means also a lot of stress eating. And through this time, we can sometimes pick up bad habits and some weight gain. And then in January, we try to get rid of it all at once. And it ends up with these cycles of being good and then being bad. Do you ever have that where you're trying to be good and then you're just fall off the wagon and then you're going back and forth and back and forth? So my goal is to give you some tips during this time to help you avoid these pitfalls and things that you can take with you. So the name of this challenge is called the 5-day Easy Peasy Clean Eating Challenge. Now, what is clean eating? If this is new to you, there are a lot of definitions of clean eating. There are different definitions. One is whole foods only, food you find closest to nature, no gluten, no dairy, no soy, no sugar, similar to Whole30. And that does give amazing results, but it's hard to maintain when you have to make everything, including your own ketchup. So that's really difficult to do. So there are other things that you can do that will get you some great results and will start you on the path to where you need to go. And that is what I wanted to give you through this challenge. So this will be kind of a choose your own adventure challenge. So if you're already kind of eating pretty well, eating pretty clean, but you just have trouble with snacking and sugar, you'll definitely still get some tips and help through this, even if it's only just the 5-day clean eating plan for some ideas. If you don't know where to start, if you're kind of like, I am nowhere and I know I need to get healthier, but I don't even know where to start, these 3 rules will help you a lot and they'll make it easier over the holidays. Plus, we'll talk about other ways to make it easier as well. And number 3, if you're not able, third type of person might be if you're just not able to make changes. Life is overwhelming right now and you just can't make any changes to what you're doing. You'll still get benefit from this because you'll be able to pick up some tips. And I recommend that if you have even like a sticky note nearby and a pen, just write down 1 tip a day and just take those and put them where you can see them, put them in a planner, and then you can go back to them. So you'll be able to get benefit in lots of different ways. So on to the 3 rules. I wanted to cover that today and why we're going to do what we're going to do. So these are based on blood sugar stabilization, which is an amazing tool that we can use that really unlocks so many different things in the body. It really helps us with energy. It helps with fat burning. It helps reduce cravings. It helps reduce inflammation. It helps regulate hormones, so many different things. And it's a lot easier to do than some other styles of eating. So that's what I wanted to give you today. So in a really small, simplified nutshell, blood sugar stabilization is when we eat things, it impacts our blood sugar. We get a big spike. And then on the way down, we get tired, we get low energy, we get fat storage, we get acid reflux. We might have trouble sleeping, like if you're eating late at night, you might have trouble sleeping later. So the goal, so rather than having our blood sugar be like this, up and down, our goal is to stay steady over this time. That's what our goal is. And you don't need a glucose monitor to do this. I know there's more, you're probably seeing more and more on glucose monitors. You really don't need to do that. You can still kind of tell by just tuning into your own body. So let's talk about the 3 guidelines that I gave. So the first one is protein, because protein is a cravings killer. So you want to get consistent protein through the day with your main meals. Don't worry about it with snacks. I'll talk about snacks later, but we want to get it consistently with our main meals. Typically, one easy way to do that is to get a palm-sized amount. So whatever food that is, that's a dense protein, and I'll talk about that in a minute, is a palm size. So if you look at how big is your palm, how thick is it, all of that. If you could take that protein and literally get it into a palm shape, would it be that size? So if you are not sure what foods have protein in it, in our free group, in the featured posts at the top, is a post with different pictures that have lists on them that will help you find what a dense protein is. So you want to have a dense protein, and this doesn't have to be, this can be vegan as well. You want to have a dense protein with every main meal throughout the day. So that's rule number 1. So think about what you're having for breakfast or, other things. Number 2 is you want to have vegetables and low sugar fruit at every meal and snack. So a low sugar fruit is any berry or a green apple. Why low sugar fruit? Why not any fruit? Because fruit has higher sugar fruit is still going to spike your blood sugar. It's natural. Yes, it's true, but your body does not know the difference. It still spikes your blood sugar. So lower sugar fruits will not have that same effect, and that's any berry and green apples. And vegetables really have magic powers. So if you have vegetables first, before you have anything else, it actually slows down the curve. So even if you have vegetables before a high carb meal, it creates a viscous mesh in your gut and it slows things down, which is kind of amazing. So if you can't do a lot of protein, then you could do vegetables first, and the fiber will really help a lot. Then the third rule we're doing is no lonely sugars. So that is sugar that's by itself. This is not a zero, never have sugar again challenge. What we're after is managing that impact. So one of the ways to kind of gauge, one of the kind of guidelines that I use is, let's say that you do need something that is quick and easy to do, and you're grabbing a protein bar. And love that sentence. Thanks. I'm not sure. Oh, that it's not a no sugar, never, ever have it again. So this, one of the ways, like if you're looking at a bar, one of the guidelines I use, if you look at the grams of protein, if you look at the grams of fiber, and you add those two together, they should be 3 times the sugar, because at least 2.5 to 3 times the sugar. There are some natural bars out there that are made with all natural ingredients, and the sugars are really, really high, and they will have the same effect. They will have the same effect as just table sugar in the bar. So kind of take a look at those things. Oh, never have a sugar alone, right? Don't have a lonely sugar. You don't want lonely sugars. So sugars always need a chaperone. That's what I always say, is never leave them alone. So this is going to avoid like the ice cream at 10 p.m. or having just a snack that is just all sugar. So you can have the sugar if it is balanced. So for example, after dinner, you can have, a little bit of sugar. You want to bring it into the meal so it's not lonely. so it's not alone. And we want to avoid the late night snack that's all sugar. Now, if you have to have a late night snack, make it something that is savory, like crackers and peanut butter, savory with a fat, not just the high test sugar. So if you are a person that you feel like you have to go to bed with something in your stomach, you have to feel full, then try switching to that instead of just ice cream, and find other ways to manage the stress. So still have something to eat. So you're making a slight incremental change. You're still having something to eat and you're adding other coping mechanisms. It's just not all sugar. So if you take only one thing away from this training, you can first ask yourself, am I getting enough protein at every main meal? You can check on that. So look at the main meals that you're having. So that's one thing you can do. The second thing you can do is, where is your fiber? Are you having a vegetable or a low sugar fruit with every meal and snack? So where the protein was main meals, the fiber, the vegetable or low sugar fruit was every meal and snack. So if you do that, super easy to get your 5 a day in, right? Because if you have 3 meals and 2 snacks, there you go. So, and it's easy to do. So, all right, you'll be checking for that. That's great. So, and then the third thing was no solo sugar. So never let the sugars be lonely. They should always be with a chaperone. And there's that ratio that I mentioned, is take the protein plus the fiber, compare that to the grams of sugar. It should be 2 to 3 times. That's a guideline that I use that can kind of help. So hopefully that's helpful for you. I will be emailing this out later on, and I will be posting this. And this is something that you can use and kind of plan out what you're going to do through the holidays, because these 3 rules are a little bit easier than trying to do full clean eating throughout the holiday time. So I'm excited to have discussions with you in the group and to help you with what you may be stuck with. And I will be seeing you in the group, and the replay for this will be up in a few minutes. I'll see you around.